What up, everybody? Welcome to the Damn Dude Podcast.
Damn, dude.
This is episode 90 motherfucking 1. Episode 91, that high octane. Well, in most places in California, 91 is the high octane. Some spots you can find 92. There's a little gas station in PB that sells 92. And a handful of them. There's one in Rancho Santa Fe. And a couple of... Anyway... Welcome to the Damn Dude Podcast. I'm your host, California Cal. And on this show, we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
You know what I mean? The type of shit to really give us some different perspective, insight, or way of thinking, or just a positive light or context to live into. Now, the show exists because... Sorry, I just had like 4 thoughts come to my head at once. I was like, and I just got, man, I'm reading text messages. Oh, I'm all over, dude. Let me slow down a minute here. So this show exists because we are here to help. That's why you don't see any commercials or ads. There's a lot of ad opportunities. When I go and I create the podcast, just automatically through each like platform that I host through, there's opportunities to put in different advertisements, and you can get paid. It's like, I mean, it pays. It's not money I'm necessarily interested in, but it's like I know I'm worth more than what those ads are paying. And the show is more valuable than what those ads can pay me. So, integrity is the name of the game with everything I do. So, with that being said, I'm gonna do this the way I want to do it. I'm not selling out. And what I mean by selling out is taking money for and promoting stuff that I don't use myself or that I don't all the way believe in myself. Anything I've ever promoted on here has been because I wanted to from my heart. Nobody paid me to do it. Nobody asked me to do it. I did it by myself. And you know what I'm saying? I speak a lot of good about people and about things in general. So that's what I want to put out here. And just like how... And it's kind of cool. Andy Frisella says this on his podcast because he kind of does the same thing. No ads, whatever. It's like, this is just pure value exchange. Like, if this is good content, then share it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the fee. Like, that's the price for this show. Is like, that's what it costs, is just share it. Tell somebody. Leave a review, leave a comment, something like that. That is what helps this. And the more that we help this, the more that people get to discover and have their own versions of the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make them think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude. Damn, dude.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing I wanted to talk about is today's episode is basically we're going off top, going off the dome. I want to practice and see how good I really am at this podcasting game. Just put on the spot. I was gonna go ahead and write out a bunch of notes and this and that. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. All I have written down is episode 91 and the date. And today I turned 36, by the way. I don't really celebrate my birthday. It just doesn't resonate with me. I don't know. So I don't really do it. So it's like, that's cool. People wish me a happy birthday and stuff, and that's pretty dope. I appreciate it. Thank you for that. But rather than, if you're gonna take the time to wish me happy birthday, I rather you guys go and leave a 5-star written review or share the podcast or subscribe or all of the above. Tell a friend, something like that. That would be the dopest thing. So that would wish me the greatest birthday. We're creeping up on 3,000 downloads. We're about to hit that. So once this episode drops with its usual numbers, we're going to be pretty close. But if everybody jumps on and people really start getting this, I'm not charging anything, dude. Like, I'm not selling you anything. I'm not charging anything. This is just value. So what I really want to talk... what else I have written down is why does the show exist? Freestyle, off the top, off the dome, Damn Dude Podcast. And I was just tagging. So, excuse me. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, but yeah, so the only topic I wanted to talk about and the rest of it is just going to be freestyled, is why does this show exist? Well, this show exists because, and like I said, I'm just coming up with all this off the dome. I'm imagining and I picture myself, anytime I've given a speech, I have not prepared anything. Like I've given a handful of talks in front of crowds. The biggest would probably be maybe like 500 to 1,000 people that I've spoken in front of. I've had 2 paid gigs. Wow, that's crazy to say that. But yeah, so what I'm picturing myself just speaking in front of people. I don't know why or what context exactly, but I'm picturing that. And it's like the 2 times that I went up and I gave a speech that where I was paid for it, I didn't write anything, and I did that on purpose. And, well, actually, one time I wrote a bunch of stuff, and at the last minute, I just fucking crumpled it and just went up. And the reason I did that was because I just wanted authenticity to be real. Because the way that I was thinking about it in that moment was, I wrote this back then, and I've heard, I wrote this yesterday. But since yesterday, I've heard this much, I've heard, read, and learned this much more information since. So I now think and view life differently. So what I wrote on that paper is old stuff. So what I'm going to give to you guys right now is brand new and authentic, and as if I wrote the paper right now in front of you guys, because that's what I really know, is what I could do in real time in front of people, right? Now, I think I kind of have this debate about myself because there's a lot of stuff that I know that I don't know how to articulate. So then the question is like, it's stuff like I know it, but only if I read it or see it or I'm reminded. So it's like in there somewhere, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? It kind of gets lost in the mix. But I kind of go back and forth with like, I don't know, shit that I already know versus how much it applies today in real time. Because, you know, it's like, it's really what can you produce under pressure? And that's one thing I realized, I'm pretty good under pressure. No, I'm great under pressure. Now, it's got to be like, I don't know, I realize there's kind of different kinds of pressure though. When it's the pressure where it's like, it's all or nothing. This is the last, we're either going to make it or we're not. Like, that's usually where I do good. And I can't necessarily explain it, but I do good in like high pressure scenarios. I realized most of the time, not always, obviously, or I at least like to think of myself like that. And I think that's why it's hard for me to get shit done when I don't have somebody bugging me about it or on my ass about it, or there's not a high level of pressure, because I'm kind of just like, I'll get to it later. And like this podcast episode is late again, you know, and I'm like, fuck. Damn, I'm getting hella cool text messages, man. That's crazy. Fuck, kind of just sidetracked myself. Well, so I guess the point of what I'm saying is like, dude, what I'm realizing is that this show is way more valuable than we all realize. Well, than most people realize. I see the value in this show. This show exists because I have done a lot of work the hard way, and I've accomplished a lot of things that I'm proud of, and I know a lot of other people haven't accomplished or done in their own ways. Now, it's no comparison, but it's like I know a lot of stuff that I do the average person doesn't do. Like, that's factual. This isn't me just trying to like hype myself up. Like, that is factual. Being in business after 13, 14 years now, that's not typical. You know what I'm saying? That's not the norm. I forget what the percentage, I wish I remembered these numbers, but it was something like most business is like only 5% of the businesses that start are gonna make it past 10 years.
Damn, dude.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It could be even less, or it's even 1%. It's either 5% or 1%, and that's out of 100. Like, that's crazy to me. So if you think, like, damn, I'm thinking about it, like, dude, what makes us fail at business? Think about it. Like, what makes a business succeed? Now, let's not even say business. Let's say an idea, because that's all business is an idea. And often when I say business, I realize that I'm including my entire life. I'm not talking about just like accounting and numbers and shit. So, like, in order to be in business, you have to stay in business. So the only way you can go out of business is if you stop. You know what I'm saying? The only way your idea fails is if you stop. That's it. That's the only way, is if you stop. You know what I'm saying? So if we stop, then we're done. And that's the only way that's possible. The only way that's possible. Because it doesn't matter how much debt you get into, that's just tuition. Like, you gotta pay the fee. You know what I'm saying? School ain't free. And a lot of motherfuckers think that because you didn't go to school, that you don't gotta pay tuition on the life lessons that you learn. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us just look at it like, oh, this is fucked up. If I would have went to school, blah, blah. Nah, it's like, you still gotta encounter problems. But the thing is like, our growth in life happens, and things that we are proud of only exist and live in the sucky and hard shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I'm really learning from 75 Hard. I'm on day 23. Is that, dude, the little details, if you can stay doing them, that equals success. Because, for those of you who are familiar, if you're not familiar with 75 Hard, go check out the Real AF podcast, episode 14, Andy Frisella's podcast, and go listen to that, because that'll explain the whole thing, and it'll do it way better than I could explain to you. But part of it is like, there's small tasks that are included, and people think, hey, if I just skip over this, whatever, it's just whatever. But that's the thing, is that's why we fail, is because we ignore the small tasks, because it's hard for some reason to keep doing these small tasks. So whether it's to continue posting on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on whatever, you know what I'm saying? If it's to, like, for 75 Hard, it's take a picture, read 10 pages, 2 45-minute workouts, no cheat meals, and stick to a diet. And I'm like, fuck, dude. The picture, as more time goes on, gets harder to take. I don't know why. It just gets easier to forget, I should say. And I think that's fascinating, because that equals the same thing as like with your business or your idea would be to keep creating, keep feeding it, keep putting into it. But how do you do so when you lose motivation? So that's the hardest part. Is that's another reason why the show exists, is because, look, I'm showing you motherfuckers, you can be 35, turn 36 years old, go through a fucking breakup, lose, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be dramatic, but like, not live in a big house anymore, not live with my family, like not be a family. Like, I mean, we're still family, obviously, and I still see my kids all the time, but like, it's just not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's a new dynamic. I went through being poor. I went through living in my car. I went through like literally having negative money as an adult. Literally like scrounging for fucking quarters and doing this and that and all this like crazy ideas and shit, And I'm just like, yo, let me show you something. I'm going to show you what's possible with inner work and working on yourself. Now, a lot of people, let me rephrase this. A lot of my peers that I came up with don't necessarily see me as this new shit I've learned. I don't know. At least it feels like that. I know people do, but at the same time, I know how much work I've done for my inner work, myself, my personal development, and I know how much work other people haven't done on theirs, like I said, it's no comparison, but this is just looking at reality. And I'm like, okay, I know for a fact I've been a student of life and happiness and integrity and authenticity since 2012. I've been a student of integrity and authenticity since 2012. I personally said, I sat myself down and I said to myself, Calvin, this is integrity. Integrity, this is Calvin. You guys are married and you're going to be together forever. Forever. Thing is, integrity's always right. And I'm like,
damn, dude.
fuck. I'm in, let's go. And that was my deal with God, basically, like if I want to like put it like that. But I legit, I have a relationship with the idea of integrity. Not on some like weirdo shit, but I contextualize it like that, the same way where it's like, look, I have a relationship with my dad. I have a relationship with my mom. I have a relationship with my brother, with my best friends, with my cousins, my whoever, my family, right? My friends, the people I know. We each have our own relationship. And that's the thing is, I learned that we can have relationship with ideas. We can have relationships with ideas the same way that we can have relationships with the idea of a person. You know, this guy's my friend. This girl's my friend. My idea of this person is this. And I am cool with that person because I believe they are this way. And that's how they occur to me. So I'm friends with them. I'm cool with them. Now, I like the idea of integrity. So I look at it, I'm like, yo, integrity. You're not man or woman. You are just either it's correct or not. It's either authentic or not. It's either contributing or taking away. When you honor integrity, it's always contributing. When you do not honor integrity, it's taking away. I committed to myself, another idea I committed myself to is being of contribution. I have a relationship and I'm in a relationship with being of contribution. I always know I can do better and do more and there's shit I miss and this and that. But that's the thing is that's the reason I do that is so I can see more of it. You know what I mean? So I do my best to form relationships with integrity because, because if you think about it, integrity is doper than any human being you can meet. Now, a lot of people are like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like that. I just said that and I realized that sounds kind of crazy, but no, it's true. Think about it. We only like people who have good integrity. You know what I'm saying? People who have bad integrity, we don't like them. Because an example of it would just be like they're lying and what they say never matches up. And then eventually you learn to interpret their bullshit and you kind of start knowing what certain things mean. And then you kind of start reinforcing each other's bad integrity. And then it kind of becomes funny and it's a joke. And then it's like, well, you're actually not being a productive member of society anymore. You know, for me, I would allow myself, I'd always be like an hour to 2 hours late. I'd call my friends. I'd be like, hey, yeah, like, you want to kick it? Blah, blah. Yeah, roll through. All right. And then like 2 hours would go by. I'm not even kidding. And then I would cruise by eventually. And it's like, oh, hey, what up? Whatever. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like, let's do this, that. And that's how it was. And that was kind of the standard that I set. And then now it's like the minimum is if I call any of my friends or they call me or whatever, it's like at least an hour before we actually leave and we fucking live 5-10 minutes away from each other, you know? So the thing is like, it just works better. It feels better when somebody is integral to what they say and you don't have to take the extra time to interpret and do all this extra shit. It's just like, wow, I can take what you're saying at face value because you have integrity to your words. And I realized integrity applies to everything. And if you guys have heard me talk about how integrity is just a bicycle, it's like you have your bicycle of integrity, and as it rolls, every time the tires make a rotation on the asphalt, on the pavement, on the concrete, whatever, on the track, they're losing integrity as they're moving. But the thing is, they're being used. That's what it's for. So the way I see integrity is it goes in and it goes out. It goes in and it goes out. It goes in and it goes out. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. So this is a big part of why I lay all this down, is because when we live life through the context and the goggles of integrity, nothing is ever wrong. Like, if integrity is a bicycle and the tire goes flat, that's just a metaphor for my girlfriend left me, my job fired me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like, I got in a car accident, whatever. That's just a metaphor. So it's like, okay, well, shit, now my work situation is out of integrity. Well, shit, now my car situation is out of integrity. How do I restore integrity to the situation? Well, my relationship is out of integrity. It ran out of integrity and fell apart. Now what? Do I go to a new one? Do I fucking end this here? Do I need a new bike? Do I need, you know what I'm saying? I'm a very visual person. That's why I explain things like that. But the thing is like, I've discovered that there's magic in practicing shifting our entire context from what's wrong to what's missing. And what's missing comes from the question of, well, where's integrity lacking? Because integrity is either in or out. And it's always on its way in and it's always on its way out. So the thing is, I think what happens is a lot of times once our wheel of integrity on our bike starts wearing down and they go flat, we just stop. But rather than fixing it and repairing it and doing the work before they go flat, we just let them go flat, and then that's our idea. That's our business. It's just done. You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, nothing is ever wrong. There's just what is missing from this equation. So or even, okay, integrity's on its way out. How do we restore integrity? And that's the thing, is if people aren't willing to restore integrity for themselves, their relationships, or whatever, then there's no workability. You can't work. You can't do anything. You just have to leave it as it is. You know what I'm saying? So oftentimes, let's say you get in an argument with somebody that you love and there's just no workability in the situation. What are you going to do? You know, and that's so much easier than being like, fuck you, you said this, you're a bitch, blah, 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 you're a dick, you said it. No, it's so much easier just to be like, well, fuck, there's no workability in this situation right now. You take your space, I'll take my space, until we can find a way that there is some sort of workability. And that means restoration of integrity. How do we put the bike back together? You know what I'm saying? Do we want to ride bikes together anymore? Nah, let's fucking part this bike out. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, let's cash out. That's fine. Go ahead. You go that way, I'll go this way. You build a new bike with your parts, I'll build a new one with mine. I'll sell mine, you sell yours, whatever the fuck you want. That's cool. It's all love. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is most of the time, it's not that there's actually anything wrong. It's just that integrity started to fall short and our context is off. We look at, oh my God, it's wrong. Oh, this person's like this. Why? We start asking the wrong questions. And I think the question we need to look at is, well, what went out of integrity and when did it go out of integrity? And how can we restore integrity to the situation? And sometimes restoring integrity to the situation is starting completely over. Sometimes it's tearing down what you already have and rebuilding it. Sometimes it's just being like, fuck that, and going somewhere else. Sometimes it's like, whoa, I just ran away from everything. I need to go back and actually like sit down and figure this shit out. You know, it's so many different ways, but the thing is there's always a tangible way to look at it. There's always a tangible thing to do and ideas to live into and context that we can create for ourselves. I think a lot of people are unhappy because we often forget that we can magically create context for ourselves. Because if you're feeling sad that your fucking girlfriend left you or whatever, right? And you go to Skid Row in LA and just you walk around, you drive through. Most people are scared to walk around there because it's fucking dangerous. But I mean, you should be. But you go there, you can't feel sad. There's way more sadness and tragedy and crazy shit. You see a woman shitting in the street in daylight, that makes you feel, that overrides your feelings about your girlfriend breaking up with you, your whatever the fuck, your boss was mean, whatever. You see people like dying in the streets, the cops, the paramedics just passing by. That makes you feel something way deeper than that. So the thing is, if that's possible, what is that? How did that happen and why did that happen? It's because it's a shift of context. And that's the same thing with happiness is we can take that, go the fuck outside, change our settings, which changes our thoughts, or our vision changes, which changes our thoughts and changes our feelings and changes our emotions and changes all the chemicals inside of us. You know, because the chemical reactions, serotonin, adrenaline, all this shit, they all do something and they're all real as fuck, and they can all be manipulated through nature and through having a change of scenery.
Damn, dude.
Bruh. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? Welcome, bicycle. Yo, this is weird. It just hit me that like I'm really loved, man. That it just that's crazy, dude. It just like the text messages I got and the way people share with me, the things people open up to me about, the things that people tell me, their authenticity, their honesty, their livelihood that they share. Like, I'm so grateful, man. And I know that a lot of people tell me stuff that they say they don't tell other people. And I'm grateful for that. I hope that I can only be of contribution to anybody I encounter or hears me or interacts with me or however you know me. I just want to be of contribution. And whether that's through thoughts, ideas, physically providing peace of mind or helping you overcome fears or helping guide you on adventure, those are what I aim to be my specialties. I want to be one of the greatest speakers and thought leaders to exist. And I want a big house that I love. I mean, it doesn't even have to be big, but I want a house on La Jolla. I want a house on La Jolla Shores. And I want a house out in the country in San Diego somewhere. And then I want a farm in like Montana or Idaho or Colorado or somewhere like that where it snows and has seasons. And I want a cabin. I want a dope cabin, maybe in like Big Bear or Utah, something like that. And I want a bunch of rental properties to be able to rent out. And I want a cool ass car collection and motorcycle collection. All that stuff doesn't really fucking matter though. Like I kind of don't care. But at the same time, I want to be able to help enough people to where that's the way that life rewards me. You know? And I'm just like really, I don't know, dude. I'm just really reflecting. It's like, I don't know why I just said all that because, well, I guess I do because I've been so hesitant to share what I want in life and to like form new ideas because I got scared, man. I got really scared of the power that I possess. Not on some crazy shit. I'm not hyping myself up, whatever. I'm just speaking on my own experience and I hope people can relate in their own way and get this. This is why I'm sharing any of this. Is because every single thing I've ever really wanted, where it was not even that I wanted it, it was like this knowing. Let me say that. Every time I've known I want something, I've gotten it. Everything I said, I am getting this no matter what. And I start putting in the work for it, dude. It's quite absurd. Oh shit, I'm getting swim messages too. That's awesome. That's funny. I was just believing, wow, I think I can make it through this winter time without struggling with my swimming. Fuck, man. I'm already, man. This is crazy, dude. I'm so grateful right now, dude. But what I was saying is, every single thing I've ever wanted, I've gotten. And not in some egotistical way, but in a very realistic sort of way, where I was like, I will have that truck. I've had my dream truck 3 times. Now, a lot of people see me driving old beater cars and stuff, but to me, that was my dream car as a kid. And dude, I'm telling you, I would rather drive my dream car as a kid, whether it looks old and beat up or whatever to you guys, but to me, I'm driving around a fucking Hot Wheels toy. I'm driving around in fucking monster trucks and shit, you know? And it's like, that was just my vision. And I've had them. I had my big ass Dodge truck. That thing was fucking incredible. I had my lifted ass Toyota and my Jeep. And those 3 have been my dream vehicles. I'm like, I will fucking have those someday. And I've had them all. I've had my dream bike. I've owned my dream motorcycles. I've had my dream girls. I've had my dream trips. I've had my dream fucking whatever, you know? Like I've had all the shit where I'm like, this is what I want. I'm getting that. So what's happened is I've gone quiet in creating shit that I want because I got scared. Because I started creating a bunch of bullshit for myself. And that's one thing I know when I would get into these crazy depressed moments and just this like, it was like I'm bringing the world with me sort of shit. And it was like, if I'm not having a good time, nobody else is having a good time. And I wouldn't outwardly be a dick, but I could do it with my energy. And because I'm very open and like, yeah, I'm very positive and like generally, when I'm closed off, people feel that for one, but I know how to like radiate this anger and heat if like I know how to turn it on if I want to. And I don't do that anymore. But well, no, that's not true. I had to do that when I went to Skid Row because I had to protect me and my son, but I needed to teach him a lesson, but I needed us to be safe. So I had to put that like, yo, don't fuck with me, homie. Like, I'll fuck your shit up type of attitude on and demeanor and body language. So there's times where it's appropriate and a couple times when I'm walking in the street and I just gotta like, you know, where it's like, you look, dude, it's you or me and it's not going to be me. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that like we're going to hurt somebody, but I mean that in like, there's just an energy exchange that happens. Now, most of the time it's like, oh, hey, what's up? But when it's late at night and sketchy people are being sketchy, it's like, what's up, homie? That's the attitude. It's not like, hey, buddy, how are you? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a different time and it's a different vibe. So, the fuck? What the hell? I hear all sorts of stuff going on outside. Yeah, man. So it's just a trip, dude. So now that I'm like envisioning what I want again, and I'm piecing together a whole new vision and picture, it's big and it's terrifying and it's bigger than I can even vision almost. And at the same time, I'm like, it's fucking possible, dude. Somebody else has done it. Why can't I do it, man? Like, I spent the whole fucking first like 30 years of my life suffering, dude. Like, just miserable suffering, man. Like, there's gotta be something else, you know, maybe not 30, but like 26 years of my life, 28 maybe. Man, like I see, and what I've really ultimately learned in 36 years of being alive is that we've got to invest in happiness, because if we don't, that hate, that anxiety, that depression, that unfulfillment will just keep compounding and growing. It'll just keep gaining interest, you know? And the thing is like, The anxiety from working a job you hate will compound and grow interest way faster than any money you make from that job and put into a savings account. The percent of anxiety and hatred and distaste that you grows way faster than 1%, 2% a year, if even that, if you're lucky.
Damn, dude.
Real shit. So this is why now, if you don't start looking into doing what the fuck you love when you're younger, and you don't lean into it heavy, and you don't lean into healing the old trauma, going into your past life stuff, all like generational baggage, trauma, all that shit. If you don't honor your kid self, you're not going to be happy. Like, I just don't think you can be happy without honoring the kid version of yourself to some degree. Like, I love to check in with myself. And yeah, kid version of me was super hurt and super sad and was all jacked up. And I stopped being a kid as a kid. Like, my brain switched to, all right, like, this is adult. This is real life. Shit's life or death. Experiencing death at a young age. When I was 6, when my little sister, who was almost 2, my grandma and my great aunt all passed away in the same month. And that just had me, it flipped something in my brain. I remember at my sister's funeral standing at her casket, and I was like, dude, my childhood is over. I said that to myself. And I just was like, I'm growing up now. This shit's done. And then fast forward at one of my best friend Pablo's funeral. And it's cool because his brother just texted me back actually right now. We both have the same birthday. Shout out Peter. What up, Mega Rhomboid? Love you, bro. That's fam, dude. Peter Tafoya, what's up, homie? So at Pablo's funeral, his uncle had said to really know Pablo was to see him interact and play with kids. And Pablo was a G, dude. He was hard. He was down. There's nobody downer than Pablo. But it was true though, because when he would play with his cousins and nieces and nephews, he was just his energy just, this little child just was like this baby tiger would come and fucking like jump and roll around. Is like, that was how I saw Pablo, like when that little kid version of him would come out. Because I kind of feel like he missed out on his childhood too. I remember he told me a story when he was like 11 or 12 maybe. He said his best friend got shot and died in his arms. I was like, bro, like, he said he was just bleeding all over him and everything. And I was just like, dude, that's fucking, wow. I can't even imagine, dude. And then that's why we became brothers, because it's like, we saw how down we were for each other. We both understood death. Wow, I never put this all together till right now. We both understood death already at a young age. We both understood we're going to fight for what's right. We both understood this is right, this is wrong. And like outside of parent and teachers, you shouldn't do this or that. It's like, nah, like we really got it. You know what I'm saying? There's certain code in the street, and both of us understood and spoke that very well and automatically to each other. And when you see that and you see certain things, it's like, oh, he knows what's up. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of the vibe. But I learned that, dude, I need to honor my kid self. And I would see Pablo would do that. So when his uncle said, yo, to really know Pablo was to see him interact with kids. And boom, in that moment, bing, bam. I'm just like, yo, holy fuck. The kids are the answer. That's the answer to all of this. And at that time, I hadn't broken my neck yet. I broke my skull, neck, and back just shortly after he passed away. So it didn't hit me till I was just sitting there with my broken neck, dude, teaching these kids drowning is the number one cause of accidental death in the world for kids 5 and under. In the world. It's more than anything. That's crazy, dude. So that's why I do what I do, and we started Fin2 Swim, is because, yo, we're saving these motherfucking kids, dude. Like, we know what it's like to lose a child in our family, my sister didn't pass away due to drowning. She had heart problems and a bunch of medical complications. But the thing is drowning is fucking preventable. And that's the number one leading cause of accidental death for kids 5 and under in the world. Accidental. Bro, number one, accidental. There's something I can do about that. So I made it my mission to do that. Because I look back, kid me, didn't know how to swim. I didn't learn to swim until I was like 12 or 13. No, I was 12 when I learned to swim. And that was one thing I was terrified of. But the beauty of that is I remember and I can feel and I can literally remember over 100 scenarios. Maybe, well, I don't know. That's maybe an exaggeration. But I might be able to recall 100 scenarios where I remember being so scared of the water, and it definitely affected how I acted or did stuff in the moment. It was either like I sat there and was hot and didn't feel good, or I fucking went in the water and was terrified or whatever. But I remember, and I can put myself in those spots immediately, and I can tell when kids are crying in certain ways what means what. Because I'm going off energy. It's like a lot of people are just going off what they see and hear. I'm going off what I see and hear, but there's more energetic shit going on than most people realize. If you're really in tune with that sort of stuff, you can tell, but it's hard because usually it's your own kid. And when it's your own kid, it's harder to see. It's like, but when you're from the outside, it's easier to see it when it's somebody else and their kid, you know? So for me, I can feel that. So that's what makes me really great at what I do is like, even though the kids can't speak, I know what the fear feels like and I know how to remedy it and get them beyond it. I know how to get them through it safely in a way to where it's not traumatic, it's not traumatizing. It's something that most of the time they don't even know they're crying because their ears go in and out of the water. The noise level is different. Like when you put your ears in the water and you're yelling or screaming or whatever or talking, it's most of the time kids will be like, yeah, what? Because it sounds like you're wearing headphones when you got your ears in the water, right? So a lot of times that's simply all it is. And the kid's nervous because we're continuously working just a little bit past their comfort zone every day. And that's how we're able to accomplish such amazing results so quickly. Like we're able to get 6-month-old kids, babies, and they're not even kids yet, 6-month-old babies water safe in like 6 to 8 weeks, which is insane. And if you want to go see what I'm talking about, go follow our Instagram or go to our website, fin2swim.com, FIN, the number 2, and swim. It's, dude, like I said, I do not get tired of it. It never gets old. It's just the coolest shit ever. So I say all that to say this. This podcast exists as a roadmap and a guidebook and documentation of my guide and roadmap to personal freedom and real internal happiness. Not the fake kind where you're covering it up, but the real kind where you literally invite feeling sad so you can heal it quicker because you miss what it feels like sometimes. Now, there's certain times that are rough where you just start off and it's like, fuck this, fuck that. I get it. Trust me. That's very real. I don't think it goes away, but I think what happens is you can tune and train it, right? So you can shape it, you can sculpt it, you can tune it. And that's possible via integrity. So now let's say, no matter what, I'm going to go hike up to the top of the mountain and I'm going to pee on top of that mountain every fucking morning. For those of you that don't follow me on my personal IG, I just made a post about that this morning. I realized part of my morning ritual is I go up and pick a different mountain all the time and I pee on top of it because it feels fucking amazing to pee out in nature, especially just on top of mountains. And I'm up there and I'm looking at the city and I'm like, wow, what's everybody in the city doing? You know, like the houses are the size of ants when I'm up there. I'm like, wow, man, like the cars and people are even smaller. And I'm like, dude, this is incredible, you know? So I realize that's part of my self-care and my routine. But what my point is that if I make a contract with myself, if I make an agreement with myself, if I made an agreement with my best motherfucking friend, integrity, if I promise integrity, I will be there with the same dedication that I will be at your wedding. I will be there when your child is born. I will be there at your fucking graduation. I will be there for your field trip. Like, rather that being those things, I put that into I will show up for myself, for integrity, for myself, whichever works better, to be on top of that fucking mountain every day. And if I honor that integrity, then I've just physically done something that practices integrity, rebuilds my wheel, whether I was tired, my hands hurt, or had the right tools or not. And I fucking got up there. You know what I'm saying? And when I get up there, I'm forced to think differently than I was when I was laying in my bed, just laying there. So now what happens is not only am I outside and physically getting better, I'm mentally getting better. So the thing is, I know and I experience that happiness, sadness, depression, all of this shit is not as complicated as we make it to be. And I've learned and I read recently that anxiety is linked to the foods that we eat and our diet. And they say that it's more so a lack of certain nutrients that equal anxiety building up. I personally think also that goes hand in hand with physically doing stuff, because your body needs to physically be stimulated in order to regrow good cells and good oxygenated cells and to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Because we fucking regenerate all the time. We regenerate new cells and constantly. So we can just freaking keep inputting physically positive things, which will then turn to mentally positive things. Now, there's a fine line, though, because a lot of people will just be like, I'm just going to work out. And then when they can't work out, they're all depressed. And it's like, no. You missed the point. You went too far. You know what I'm saying? You kind of jumped the entire thing. Like you started at the finish line. That's not the point. The point is to have a certain amount of integrity to where it's not about working out. It's about the integrity. It's about the commitment. It's not necessarily so much about the action. It's more about you making the commitment to the action so many times to where that becomes the habit, and then the habit becomes the reality. And if your habits are of good habits, then your reality is of good reality.
Damn, dude.
Yo, that was dope. That was pretty dope. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty dope. And whoa, that's funny. I just realized I turned 36 today, and but like I said, I don't really celebrate my birthday, so it's kind of weird. I don't know. But Bone Thugs vs 36 Mafia is performing in the Versus tonight, and I'm a little bummed I can't go. They sold out tickets. They're doing fucking health screenings in LA. And then I work this evening, so I would have to get off work in Rancho Santa Fe and fucking drive all the way up to LA. Barely, possibly miss a good portion of it. Be there for a while and then have to drive all the way back and then have a work meeting tomorrow at 7 a.m. I'm like, bro, I don't think I'm trying to do all that. I would rather go fucking just go to work, fucking maybe buy some weed, get some bomb ass food, and just lay low. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do nothing crazy or whatever. But I would like to go to the desert tomorrow or this weekend. Maybe just even for a day. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if my car can handle it. My poor car is so beat, dude. The idle air control valve just popped itself off the other day. The screws all busted off. The whole thing went clink, and I heard all this. And then my fucking air intake boot fell off, and then the car was going, and the throttle, I could rev the car, but what happened, because the intake boot came off, it opened up the butterfly valve inside the fucking, what is that, the throttle body or whatever, and it fucking just was revving out, the throttle got stuck. It was fucking crazy. The car's just wah! don't think these people next to me thought I was trying to race, but nah. So I fucking go, I turn my car off, and it's just like, whoa, because it's revving. It's like not wanting to turn off. Eventually, I get the car turned off. I pulled over. I'm like, bug. Fortunately, I'm such a bro. I keep spare parts and tools and bolts and nuts and all this shit in the back for off-roading. And I'm like, I refuse to get stranded out in the desert, you know? I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but in general, I like to have enough stuff to be able to like do something with, you know? So, dude, I managed to fix my entire car roadside, dude. I had a spare, my old one. The car was running kind of crappy when I put it in, but it fucking got me home. Say I was stranded somewhere, I broke down out in the wild somewhere, I would have gotten home, dude. So that was quite amazing. That felt really good. Yeah, man. So, so I hope you guys like this episode, and I hope you guys enjoy the show and the purpose of the show and why the show exists. Again, like I said, it's as a happy birthday greeting, if you could just like, share, subscribe, any one of those or all of them, tell a friend. You know, this life has helped change people's lives, and we've had at least 3 to 5 personal reports of that directly. So I appreciate that, and I thank you guys. And I'm just here to contribute. You know, and it's like, how can I help you guys? How else can I help you guys? You know, give me some more ideas and topics that we can discuss. If you guys can help me in any way, that would be awesome. You know, like I said, share it, whatever. And also, if you know anybody who could help me, that would be awesome. Or if there's anyone you think we should interview, or anything like that. Sorry, I just got a bunch of random ass messages. Yeah, man. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Shout out to all the listeners in New Zealand. You guys keep tuning in. Whittier, San Jose, San Diego, obviously. Man, I appreciate you guys. The Germany listeners, the Philippines listeners. You guys are fucking dope. Salamat. Salamat po. And yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Much love.
Damn, dude.
Peace.
90 miles push away, and I wanna